All right, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna be giving you two workouts that you can do that's gonna make your chest blow up, okay? Because I know chest is one of those muscles for a lot of guys, including myself, that's just very hard to grow. It's very stubborn, especially the upper chest. But today we're gonna fix that with just two exercises. This is really, you can just like spam these two exercises and your chest is gonna grow. And I'll explain why as we're going through it and what like small techniques that you can implement to make your workout even better, make your chest grow even faster. So starting off, we're just gonna do some incline cable flies, okay? And obviously, before every workout, you want to warm up. Warm up. I like to warm up with just rotating my shoulders other way, and I do that for maybe like just 5 minutes. Small circles, then big circles slowly, and then the other way around, just to make sure everything's looped up, nice, ready to go. Blood is flowing. I've already done that. I've already also warmed up, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to my working set. But just make sure you're warming up properly, and starting with a little bit lighter weight, seeing how you're feeling, and then go into working set. The incline itself, you don't want to go too high. You'll see when I sit back, this is about where I'm at. But the big reason why we're using cables and why we're sitting down, because you could do the standing up, but sitting down adds more stability. And the reason why we use cables is because we can get that stretch, right? And I like cables more than like the machines that have you like going out like this, because those are more fixed. And because they're fixed, they put your shoulder in kind of awkward position. And it also, for me, I just feel that it takes a lot of the tension out of the chest and puts it onto the shoulder. And I'm sure a lot of you guys feel that too when you're using those machines that you just kind of come out like this. Whereas this, you have a lot more free range of motion, and you can put everybody's body is built different. Everybody has different shoulder structures. So you can put the cable, you can kind of hold it out to where you feel the most tension in the pec. And that's the most important thing. So we want to feel that tension, and we're using a cable. You want to sit up to the point to where you feel a good stretch at the bottom. You should not feel any like shoulder pain here, like it's going to rip your shoulder off. But when you get to the bottom of that set, what you want to feel is a big, good stretch on that pec, and that's going to be key. The key to building muscle in almost every exercise is you want to put that muscle in a stretched position. In fact, recent studies have shown that um, exercises done in just the stretch position, like if you just did the exercise from here to here rather than full range of motion, produces the same amount, if not more muscle than like going full range of motion. Now, I still think you should incorporate full range of motion. I think that's important for mind muscle connection. Again, this is just recent studies. It doesn't mean full range of motion is not required, that it doesn't have its place in working out. I still use full range of motion. But another thing you do is implement partial reps. So you can do full rep, partial, full rep, partial. But we'll go through that here, and I'll show you this now. So um, I don't know what to do with this thing. I'm gonna put it right here on my headphone. So pick the cable up. Again, this might take some adjusting with the bench, with the cables, to make sure you're seated properly and that everything feels good. But right here, if I kind of push my chest up, I got a good stretch there. And when you come up, squeeze this together. You really want to squeeze your chest together. Come down slowly. Slowly, slowly. Make sure the tension stays in the chest, not the shoulders. Get a good deep stretch at the bottom, and then boom, explode up. And again, you can implement these partials. So partial, full range. Squeeze, 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 squeeze that chest. Slow, partial, all the way up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Partial, boom, explode. 1, 2, 3, 4. Partial, boom, explode. 1, 2, 3, 4. Partial, boom, explode. Another reason I love cables opposed to the machine that just goes like this is because the tension is pulling back, it's pulling, stretching that pec back. Whereas on the machine, you're kind of just pulling this way, going in this direction. The tension is mostly in this direction. Whereas with the cable, it's kind of like a circle. And so you have this full range of tension where you have to push up, but you're also having to push this way. And so there's a lot more tension on the pec as opposed to just tension running this way. So you have this more full range of tension. And you can feel it. Like you'll feel the difference when you use cables versus when you're just using those machines that you just come together like this. And another thing, this freaking microphone. Another thing you can do with this is you can do single arm So I would recommend still holding both to keep you balanced, but you can do single arm to get more range of motion. So I can come here, that way I can go a little bit farther, or you can cross them like this, cross up, cross down, and you'll get more of a squeeze on that chest. You'll feel it a lot more. That's something you cannot do on those machines that have you fixed like this. You can't do that, right? You just hit your fist together. Now, some of those machines will allow one to go, so you can kind of go a little bit further. But again, you can't cross and really squeeze that chest, which really helps with mind muscle connection, and it's just getting that pump in the chest and just getting that contraction. So something you should definitely implement with these. Again, you can do one set where you go up, go cross, go up, and squeeze. Another set where you're kind of implementing the partial reps. And so I think it's important to experiment with that. That way you're kind of getting the best of all worlds, right? So this is the first exercise I recommend. Now, how many sets should you do really depends on how long you've been working out. And because the thing is, some people are stuck because they're either doing too much volume or they're not doing enough. And sometimes it's just you're not even working out right. Like some people just work out really fast. Like how you saw me doing a slow 4 seconds, what I like to count to on the eccentric, the stretch portion of the movement. I highly recommend you doing that. If you're not doing that, try that first. But anyways, volume should stay around. For these two exercises, I'm going to do like 3 working sets. I think it's enough. If you're really putting intensity into it and you're taking it slow and your mind muscle connection and your focus, in 3 sets is plenty. So try that first, stick to 3 sets. After, not counting the warm-up set, after your warm-up sets, 3 very intense, very focused working sets should be plenty. And then we're going to move on to the next exercise. And the next exercise is the same. It'll be just 3 working sets. But again, knowing how much volume you should do is something you need to experiment with. If you're a beginner, you don't need that much. But if you're very advanced, you could probably get away with adding more. But you may want to make sure before you even think about volume that you're working out correctly. You're doing exercises that put your muscles in a stretch position. You are controlling the weight on the eccentric, so you're feeling those muscles just tear and stretch apart. And you're going slow, like 3 to 4 seconds. And you have a very good mind muscle connection and you're focused. Fix that first before you worry about adding or removing volume. All right, so we're going to go on to the next exercise now. All right, so the second exercise is going to be a machine press. So if you have a Smith machine in your gym, you can use this. And we're going to do a low incline. So if you see, if I sit back, I'm not like up like right here. When you get up to here, you're using a lot of shoulders if you're doing a incline press like this high. So I like to do a low incline press. Now, why are we doing incline if we just did incline with the flies? And then why are we using a machine? So let's first start with the incline. So the reason we're using incline is because studies have shown that incline bench press or machine press or dumbbell press, whichever, when you're doing an incline press on your chest, it activates just as much of your chest as flat bench does, with the added benefit of targeting more of your upper chest. So you are getting the same activation in your chest as you would be if you were doing flat bench, but you have more activation in the upper chest. So you're just getting more bang for your buck here. It would just make sense to do incline press. Now, does that mean you should never do flat bench again? No. Some people might feel flat bench more in their chest, but I know for most of us, we struggle with that upper chest development. And part of the reason I think is because a lot of people just don't prioritize incline press, or they're just not doing it right. Now, why are we using machine? We're using a machine because a machine allows you to really isolate a muscle and focus on that muscle. So if I was using dumbbells, or let's say I was doing a incline like bench press and you're just using a barbell, number one, you have to have a lot of stabilization. Especially with dumbbells, you're using a lot of stabilizer muscles. So as you're going up and down, your mind and your muscles and your body is really focusing and trying to stabilize that weight. And so a lot of your energy is going towards stabilizing the weight. Whereas with the machine, this is fixed in place. For the most part, it's fixed in place. And that means that when I am pressing, I can put more energy, more effort through my chest rather than a lot of my energy going to trying to stabilize that weight. And another thing about machine is you can go to failure safely. If you were doing a barbell bench press, most people quit when they have let's say probably 3 reps left. I think a lot of people quit when they have probably 3 or 4 reps that they could actually get out. But unless they have a spotter there, right? If you have a spotter, you can go to failure. But even then, it just doesn't feel comfortable, right? It doesn't feel comfortable going to failure, even with a spotter. It's kind of, I guess, kind of scary, right? And so even with a spotter, a lot of people, they still don't go to failure because it just doesn't feel comfortable. But with the machine, it's very comfortable. It's very safe. You can go to failure and then you can put the weight down. And if you adjust this properly, you can literally put the weight down like right on your chest. It's not even going to press on you. So that's the reason why we're doing incline and why we're doing a machine. And then the key with this is also, again, you want to set this weight to a position where you're going to get a deep stretch. Now, if you're using a bar, a deep stretch would just basically be touching your chest. That's as far down as you would be able to go. Now, if your gym has, I forgot what the name of the machine is, but a lot of gyms have that machine, you've probably seen it, where it's kind of like one side and you have another side. I'll post a photo here so you know what I'm talking about. If your gym has this machine and that machine can incline, I would use that. But a lot of gyms have something similar to that, but they don't like allow you to adjust it that much, where you can't like adjust to get a deep stretch in your chest, and you can't adjust the seat. If your gym does have that, I would recommend using that over this, because the problem with this is that you can get it stretch in your chest, but again, the bar is limiting how much of a stretch you can get. So if you do have something where there's nothing going across your chest and you can get a little bit further down and that's not uncomfortable for you, use that, because you'll get more of a stretch on your chest. And that's, again, super important for muscle development, muscle growth. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to finish off with this right here. Simple, low incline press, nothing fancy. But I promise you, if you add these 2 exercises into whatever chest routine you're already doing, add this in somewhere where it will fit into your week, where your chest isn't sore, you just didn't hit it the day before, maybe give like 48 hours between your chest workout. Add this in somewhere, and I promise you, you will see much better results. You'll feel it immediately when you do the first exercise, bro. You will feel your chest, especially your upper chest. You'll feel that pump in your upper chest. But try these 2 exercises, and I promise you, your chest development it's going to be a lot better. You're going to see better results. Just throw it. This is all you need. Like, you don't need to do anything else crazy. Throw in these 2, stick with it for a while, and I promise you'll see great results. So we're going to go ahead and finish this exercise up with this incline, low incline chest press, and yeah, 3 sets. On the last set, I'll throw in one more thing here on the last set. What you can do for this one, I gave you some techniques you can use on the other one. I'll give you one you can use here. For the last set, I don't recommend doing this on every set, but maybe for the last set, just do a static hold, like right here. And then just kind of get like a deep, deep stretch on your chest, and do a static hold for about 30 seconds. And then if you can, after 3 sets, this will be really hard. So if you can, then try to come up. But if you can't, just try to get that static hold again on the last set. You don't have to do this for every set, but just on that last set, do like a 30-second static hold, so you can really build that mind muscle connection with the chest and get that deep stretch. And then same thing, when you're coming up, explode up, down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel that deep, deep stretch in the chest, and boom. And you can make this stretch more significant in your chest by pulling your shoulders together. Imagine if you're like ripping like the Superman logo open. So you pull your shoulders apart and then squeeze your back together. And this will help you put you in a position where your chest, when you're coming down, you can get a deeper stretch on your chest, as opposed if you were like this, it's very hard to get to that deep stretch. So put your chest up, squeeze your back together, and that'll help you get more of a deeper stretch on the incline. And yeah, that's really all I got for you guys today. So again, just try these 2 exercises. It will make a huge, huge difference in your chest. Just stick to it long enough until you see results, and you won't regret it.